Love Teen Wolves.
Okay, it's different.
But not Boy Wolves.
I love Teen Wolves.
Okay, not like that. Relax. Relax. This is Welcome to another episode of Volume 1, the anime and manga podcast, where we review the first volume of a brand new manga each week. My name is Josh, the magical orb Michaels, and today, as always, I'm joined by
Megan Wolf Perrine.
Yes,
Cody Nameless Decker.
I love it, dude. I love it. Volume 1, Sean, what about you? You're not going to introduce yourself today?
Oh, so sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm really not going to be in this episode. I got a lot on my plate. I'm working on some big stuff in here, but this manga definitely inspired me.
Okay.
She's got a lot of shit going on we don't know about.
Well, I mean, I just feel like it's a little rude. But
I
other
guess.
Than that,
I mean,
It does make sense though that the cube was inspired
by the orb.
Ah.
And speaking of orbs, today we are going to be reviewing Volume 1 of To Your Eternity by Yoshitoki Oima. And the Japanese title for that is what again, Megan?
Fumetsu no Anatai.
Fumetsu no Anatai, which was a recommendation to us from one of our Patreon members, Ken Reeb. Shout out to Ken Reeb. Thank you for the rec. Thank you for the recce. And speaking of Patreon members, shout out to our new Patreon members, Noah S. Sharp and Hunter Goff.
Woo!
You guys are real oneers. Before we get started with today's review, today, as I said earlier, we'll be reviewing Volume 1 of To Your Eternity. Make sure to click the links and comment below to help support the show, to help us decide what we review next, to give us your thoughts and opinions on series that we've reviewed, for us to read in the Oneer Circle, which we will be doing at the end of today's episode, and to let us know if the series that we review today deserves a volume done, aka a full series review.
Were there parallels? Like, did you read this and you're like, oh, this does seem like the work of Silent Voice, or did it seem like they went on like I'm going to try going in this direction with this?
I'm curious to see how you felt about it, Megan, but I didn't see any real parallels. That's why I wanted to watch it. It's something I've been wanting to watch for a while anyway, but I wanted to see if I could, find parallels and find commonalities, I guess, between this work and their previous work.
Yeah, the only commonality is just like, emotional reading. You feel for the characters that she puts on the paper, so... Yeah.
I don't know what a Silent Voice is, but this whole manga is very atmospheric.
Yeah.
I don't know if like that Silent Voice is more about the characters, but this just felt like you got a real sense of the world of To Your Eternity. You can just hear the wind, and you can just hear the piano music, and just where all you hear is just leaves rustling.
Yeah. I do agree. I think obviously a Silent Voice is more character driven, and this is a more atmospheric sort of story. But a real quick fun fact about the mangaka too, she's only 31 years old. She's my age.
Only 31.
Yeah, only.
Well, how did someone so young manage to create two works of art?
Yeah, dude, when she made A Silent Voice, she was like in her mid-20s, which is crazy to me. And she's super talented, and that's clear from A Silent Voice and even more clear from To Your Eternity, which, if you still don't know what the series is about, allow me to read the synopsis on the back of this manga. An orb was cast unto the earth after metamorphosing into a wolf. It joins a boy on his bleak journey to find his tribe. It learns and evolves, transcending death, even when those around it cannot.
And what's funny is that synopsis is both accurate and misleading.
Yeah.
Also, the cover. Definitely misleading. That's what I picked the watch list. I saw a dog and a boy, and I thought, oh, shoot, I'm in for it. I love me a story about a little doggy and a little boy, but it was not that.
All Josh told me was it reminded him of the movie Call of the Wild. Not the book, the movie.
Yeah, and, the Harrison Ford movie, yes.
Oh, that's new, right?
Yeah.
Does the dog talk?
No, but he does emote
that
a little
that
too
was one of
much.
those weird choices they made where it talks to him and he's like, oh,
and it's like CGI.
Yeah.
It's like a CGI dog, a little too CGI, a little too human face. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be like that based on the cover, and that goes back to the the age-old saying, never judge a manga by its cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although this did a move that most I don't know, I don't read too many stories that do this, where they just open up with this is a sphere.
Yeah.
I think other stories would be like, oh, here's the wolf.
No.
Where'd it come from? And then like hints at it, but it's like this is this is an orb that was sent down, and it was sent to absorb stimulation.
Yeah, it needs to be
forms.
stimulated to take the form of something else, right? So it needed to
or it takes the form of things in pursuit of further stimulation.
Yeah,
Yes.
the mangaka was like, sphere, you go.
There she is.
There we go. There's the title right there. There's
Wow.
Sphere we go.
Sphere we
again. Chasing through my.
And you brought it back to a song. And you brought it back to a fucking song.
So yeah, I mean it turns into like a blade of grass and then rocks,
Moss, rock. Yeah.
and then it finds a wounded wolf,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, yes.
Yeah, thank God. Who'd want to be a fucking rock?
Yeah, it did. And again, I don't. This series is nothing like that time I got reincarnated as a slime, but just the fact that it is a main character that can morph into all these different things, creatures, animals, inanimate objects, like it did remind me of that only in concept, especially when, as we find out later, it takes the form of this boy.
Yeah, this is, speaking of things, this is sort of the nicest possible version of the Thing.
Yeah.
Because it lands in the middle of nowhere in the Arctic, and it happens to find these like life forms. And if it wasn't for that, it would have just like stayed in that state and done
That's
nothing.
a great point. Yeah, and the transformations are horrific.
And the first thing it becomes is a dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And we'll talk about more parallels actually.
Yeah. So it opens up in the Arctic, and it becomes a rock moss and then a wolf, and that wolf travels back to this abandoned or empty village.
And that wolf it copied was like just dying, and it copies the wound, and it just gets back up and like,
yeah.
I guess I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, because it doesn't know it, just because it takes the form of something doesn't mean it knows how to be that thing. Doesn't mean it knows how to walk, doesn't mean it knows how to eat, or
it doesn't even know
talk.
It has to.
Exactly. So when it gets to this village, we meet this boy, this sad little fucking boy, this fucking optimistic ray of sunshine in this Arctic wasteland. Yeah, this classic character who just, despite all odds, wears a smile.
Yeah, he really wears it. He's so cute.
Yeah, the setup and everything and the art was like, this first time in a while I've been like, that, wow, that's really good art. And there's so many little details and stuff where you have to like slow down and like, oh, they drew bark on trees. Normally they sort of just do some squiggle lines and we call it a day, but they like, oh, wow, there's like swirls and shit. It's like, okay, I have to, let me appreciate it.
Yeah. Every panel is crammed full of stuff. And going back to like, because we're also doing, in the middle of doing our volume done of Fire Punch, reading that and reading this, the art styles are completely different. And Fujimoto loves to do these like squiggly line panels. There's a panel where, one character is just the squiggliest, most abstract lines, but it looks really good. That is not this at all. This is like very refined, very detailed, like the scenery, everything, the backgrounds are packed into these panels.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It was so nice. I didn't even realize until like halfway through that the boy is just announcing the plot to the wolf.
Yeah.
Because he is like, oh, you're back. It's, it's so great. I thought I lost you. I'm like, oh, yeah, well, you did.
Yeah, this is not the thing you think it is. This is not your doggy.
This is not your doggy Joan or Joanne or
Joanne,
whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
That was good because it says Joanne in this. Online, some things are saying his name is Johan.
Regional things.
Is that, yeah. I mean, it's just like, they're like, don't give him the H.
Yeah. Joanne is a weird name for a wolf, too. Don't name your wolf Joanne.
Yeah,
Johan makes sense.
Yeah.
What's that? Johan, Adam Sandler.
You don't mess with the Johan.
Yeah, you don't mess
with the Johan.
And that's
yeah. Would have been a different movie if Adam Sandler was just shape shifting the entire time. Yeah, cast Adam Sandler in the live action adaptation.
Jesus, he's like, oh.
My whole family's dead. Speaking of, his whole family they abandoned him so he could help take care of the elderly.
Yeah, and at first you think, it is good. I mean, the people, it's probably, family left. They're going to go find a better place for him. And then he starts, drawing his family. And it's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
It is so many people. And he's like, I'm just drawing their faces so I don't forget them. And you're like, oh my God.
It's like, it's been 5 years. It's like, dude. That's it.
Dude.
Yeah, and his excuse for them not coming back isn't that they could have died again because he is so optimistic. It's like, oh man, that place that they said they were going to must have been so freaking cool that they don't want to come
forgot
back.
about it.
Yeah.
He's so
I don't blame them. They
sweet.
probably got fucking roller coasters and shit over there. They don't even remember me because they're so busy having fun. And it's sad. They forgot about him.
And he's announcing this to his wolf friend
And
the
the wolf is
entire
like-
time. The wolf is just like,
the wolf is like, yeah.
What's words?
Fish.
The wolf is like, where am I?
Is this? Do you know? Have you seen any spheres around here? Because
Yeah, I do think too, in doing more research on the series, it is a series that, without giving too many spoilers away, happens over the course of years and years and years and years.
Some
and
might
years.
say an eternity.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes, but my point in bringing that up now is because a lot of what happens in the first chapter sets the stage for what's going to happen the entire series, over the course of the entire series, right? Like his connection to this boy. That boy becomes his like main form, the form that he defaults to. And with that, what? I didn't give anything away.
Cody!
Let me finish. Your face gives stuff away. Your beardless face gives stuff away.
Oh yeah, you guys like the beardless Cody? I
tried-
had the final say, and I've outruled Josh.
Megan did a very nice. I like the beard, but
That's not how I sounded.
and I was like, "You want me to get rid of the beard?" She's like, "I think it's good."
Yeah,
But
what
I
did
think
you
you should get with some like. So you're saying it like I don't think it looked good. I was just like I was trying to experiment, but yeah, she was
Okay,
just like,
you say that, but then I told Josh to get his mustache back, and you're like, no, you should not have a mustache.
Josh should not have a mustache at all.
You guys look at the past episodes.
Don't look at the past
Please
episodes.
look at it and vote yes or no.
The
We
palest
don't
he's
even
ever
have that
been.
on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's just a clip on our
conveniently.
Instagram. If you want to see Josh with a mustache, go to our Instagram
Follow
and look at
the
every one of
Instagram.
our clips and like them all.
Yeah, like them, but don't really linger too long.
Josh,
I
it
don't
looks
want you to.
fine.
Let's say I needed to take on a new form. How about
I
that?
think it's fun.
this story is so. I think the setup seems to be pretty straightforward. Okay, so it's this thing just takes the form of a wolf, and then it's gonna go on a journey with this boy, and they're gonna try to find his missing tribe, and along the way, it'll learn things about life, and he'll learn things about himself. That's sort of where you figure the story is going.
And by the cover,
Yeah.
by everything that we've seen so far, you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna be best of friends. They're reunited, even though he doesn't know that he's like a being from space. But they're together, and
But I say that to say too as well that they were tied when he first comes back. This wolf comes back and sees this boy. The boy ties himself to the wolf, right?
It's a leash.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's literally
It's
a
literally
leash, but metaphorically, sir, it's to
Tie
maybe
them together.
Yes, to tie them together because it's his first interaction with a human, someone who he will be tied to for eternity.
Yeah, no, that's
or that he doesn't run away again because he ran away before.
because it ran, like a leash,
and it died.
Right.
Like a leash on a dog.
I did. I
Yeah,
liked.
could be that too. Yeah.
I liked the concept of like, oh, the first like interaction this thing has with another living being will be like affection and love, and that's gonna be like a huge thing to determine what this thing will become as it like grows and evolves.
Yeah. What if he just got? What if he came back and that kid was an asshole?
Yeah, he's just like, "Fuck you! I didn't want you back, you dumb bitch!" And just like beats the shit out of the dog.
Just kicks the dog. And
that would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been real different story.
Different story entirely.
Yeah. But we find out that this boy has been abandoned, and
he
decides.
His tribe was like, as he's like talking to the wolf, which it kind of comes across as maybe a little passive aggressive. He's like, as you know, I was gonna go, but then you bit me, and I couldn't go, and they told me to just stay with my village. Which is fine.
Sure,
it's fine.
I think the wolf was trying to protect him.
I disagree.
I do. I think he was. I think the real wolf, the real Joanne, was trying to protect the boy because he knew that this tribe was going to eventually succumb to the elements.
I think it was a thing of like, this is just a wolf.
Yeah, they're not domesticated very much yet in this setting, so
he's on a leash. That's pretty domesticated.
He wasn't because he ran away.
He's just a wolf. Like he's just not a dog. He's a straight up wolf. So he probably did something he didn't like and went.
Which I think is part of you realizing like his optimism is of like him lying to himself.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And him being like, yeah, maybe it's a good thing that you bit me. Yeah, this is you. You're that boy. Maybe it's a good thing that it happened. When the reality is he got bit by an animal and he was like, I guess I just lose this opportunity.
And he's so optimistic. He thinks that they're going to be coming back like any time. Like he sees like the lights on that he left on and he's like, and he opens the door and he's all excited. He's like, I'm back. And no one's there. And he's like, oh, and the deadpan in his eyes, but they're still like lit. Like those details are so great. Like the facial expressions, like you could see someone being happy when they're not in the eyes. Like it's so important.
That's a testament to the art too, and the artist, because it captures that emotion, that optimism, but then right behind that is just sadness.
Now that he's got the wolf back, he's like, all right, let's go catch up to the old gang.
Yeah,
I'm sure they miss me.
Let's go to that really cool place that they're definitely at, and they're definitely having so much fun at.
Yeah, which they probably just forgot about me, so they'll be like, oh my god, it's classic Home Alone situation.
He even goes like this.
He goes like this.
Yeah.
But he didn't wish them away.
Well, maybe we'll find out in Volume 2 that. He was like, I wish my family disappeared on a plane.
This is this is very insightful, Cody. This is exactly like Home Alone.
This is a combination of Home Alone and The Thing.
It's okay,
but it kind of is. It kind of is though. It kind of is though.
But it kind of maybe kind of is. A little bit maybe kind of is. Yeah. That wall of paintings in the hut was the McAllisters, up there.
So he goes to go find them, and they mark stones that's like, hey, we went this way. So which does mean they like, why would you do that unless it was for people to follow them?
But it was for him.
Yeah, but why would you do that if you really didn't plan on coming back?
Yeah, exactly. So if you weren't planning on coming back, you would do that for people to follow you.
Yeah, but they said they were going to come back for him. So why not just come back for him?
Maybe the other side of the stone was like an arrow. Like it was like an arrow pointing both ways.
Go back.
Like that would actually make a lot of sense to be like, this is where we went, and also that's where we went from.
Yeah.
So we don't get lost because there's snow everywhere.
Cody, he wasn't looking back. He was only looking forward.
Yes, dude.
We can see the folly of that.
And I think that's what this manga is really trying to say. Always look forward. Never look behind you.
Yes.
Never look back.
Yeah. But on this journey that he goes on to find his people, he gets severely injured. He falls.
He falls through ice.
Yeah.
He doesn't. That's the thing. He doesn't even get that injured. It really, he says like it's a flesh wound, but like a flesh wound in this climate.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out. You have no medicine. You have no alcohol. You have nothing to clean yourself. You're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
You're fucked. Just like in a zombie apocalypse, you could die from a cut.
Oh yeah.
If you don't have proper medical attention.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't matter if they're zombies. That's just how.
But I'm just saying that it's like, in this climate, the zombies walking around, you get bit by a zombie, but you could just die from a fucking cut.
Okay, zombies aren't a threat.
Okay,
oh my god!
Excuse me.
Wow.
I think it's the faces that are making.
No, I will say that the facial hair made it really easy to tell us apart And
Yeah, it was just the facial hair. People were getting real confused.
You should wear glasses too now.
Yeah, never.
Whoa,
Never.
Whoa.
Yeah.
you can't pull them off.
Neither can you.
Oh.
No, I actually like these. I like my new pair.
Yeah, Cody got new glasses.
You got new
No
glasses.
one's commented on them yet, so
Yeah.
maybe
You guys
feel
did
good.
when I got them.
Well,
I
I
had no
actually
idea.
like went out of my way to help you pick out a pair that you replaced with those.
Yeah. So, whose opinion do you really care about? Not Megan's.
Well, I did value it, but I was like, I also wanted to change my style. You know what this isn't, though? Relevant to our discussion at all. So,
Just because a little bit of
No,
heat's
because
on you.
glasses, you could see clearly. He is seeing clear to his path until he got cut.
Until he got correct.
Until he got
Yeah.
cut.
I like, he ties it up, and he's like, okay, all right, we're just going to keep going. That's fine. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's just keep going. There's just a stone away.
Yeah.
One more
You're
stone.
just a stone away.
I knew it, dude. I knew it as soon as he fell through that ice that was it. You know, I knew that wound was gonna fester and that it was not gonna be good.
Hell yeah, I
And
gasped
then-
out loud. I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
The wolf starts like sniffing it, and I thought, oh, is it gonna be like this? Like, it's gonna like merge its essence into him to heal him. Like, but it's like it just like, oh, smells like death.
Yeah, but it doesn't even know. It doesn't even. I don't even think it's like aware of anything. It's just like it's just studying.
Yeah, I like that it wasn't a thing where like, oh, it can do anything. It's nanobots. It's it can heal him. It can like do all these things. It's just like, oh, a wound.
Yep. I loved that it couldn't heal him because that would have ruined the story. That would have taken away such
you can
an impactful, powerful moment.
Yeah, and you can see how easily the story could have been that where like it heals him and it's always helping him along the way, but it's just like,
Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, this
What's
is
more
an immoral
unfortunate
being. Yeah.
is he finds the last stone.
Ah, yes, that's very unfortunate. He finds the last stone, and the stone has an arrow, but an X through the arrow, and like only a little bit ahead of that is an entire caravan just covered in snow, leading us to believe that's where the villagers are. They're not at Six Flags. They're buried in the snow.
Yeah. You could say he was like stone alone.
You could say that. You could say that.
I like it. The only part that confused me was that there was an X through it, which means either the last guy who was dying was like, no.
Yeah, never mind.
We're calling this X a quit. No, we're done. I'm out.
I see that. I could definitely see that. Someone just maybe they went cannibal.
Oh, Megan.
Maybe they ate each other and then they couldn't live on.
I don't think we've gone.
Because if one person got away, there would not be an X. They would have gone to the next stone,
Yeah.
Right.
But instead, they all died there.
You think the last guy just was like, whoa, that's it for me, guys. I think I'm just gonna. I'll just.
I don't know.
Just stay here.
I
Until
think you maybe wanted it to go there.
No, I'm just saying that like it's survival of the fittest.
Right.
And
Remind me to never get trapped anywhere with you because I'm gonna get eaten.
no.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it's pretty sad. All of his everyone's dead.
He's just like.
There's the little stones that represent, like a burial of
that
someone.
Too. Yeah, which are the same stones we saw in his village because that's where the elderly were buried, and these are like their makeshift gravestones.
Yeah, which he had to bury himself.
Sad.
Just pretty sad.
Yeah, the last guy just.
Yeah. Yeah, the last guy buries himself. And there's this panel, too, of him turning back with tears in his eyes, and he's just like, it's fine.
That's when you realize, oh, he's a crazy person.
Yeah, he's out of his mind. He's like,
Aw.
everything's going to be fine.
Let's just go back.
Yeah.
And the rest of let's just go back to the old
Yeah.
homestead.
Nothing wrong with going and regrouping over there at the
My
old
legs.
hut.
So sad. He goes, yeah, we can make it. And he's just crying. He's like, we can do it. Tell me. Like, you always do. Like, we can make it. And he's like, oh, I've only been talking to myself this whole time.
You're just a dumb wolf and you can't actually talk.
Yeah, and then Joanne's face, she's just like,
He's like, I swear to God, someone tell me, where am I?
Yeah, the whole time he's just like, is this
is this food?
normal? Is this what This is what wolves and humans do. We just walk around finding stones.
Do people just like talk to wolves?
And do they cry a
Am
lot?
am I supposed to be able to talk?
Is everybody just sad in this world?
I really.
And the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. So they do head back to base.
Which
base
is
camp.
far, I believe.
Oh yeah,
He
they
makes
made
it all
far.
the way back, which yeah.
I was surprised about that. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, not
I'm
in the best
surprised he
shape.
made it back.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't, die in the snow, but
Yeah.
good for him.
He makes it back and he's still optimistic. He's still like, I'm just gonna lay down for a little bit.
It's like
regroup.
oh man, that
Yeah.
leg really smarts. You know what? Laying down, I gotta get back up. You know what I'm gonna do? Old Wolfie boy, I'm gonna go sit on my chair. That's a good spot for me.
He said, I know when they get back, I don't want to look, bad. When they get back, I'm just going to sit in my chair and be ready for them.
See, that I read that as him accepting his death at that point, and even in death being optimistic. Like, I don't want them to come back and find me like laid out. I want them to come back and find me like, at peace, like in my chair. A
part of it, yes,
Dignity.
but a part of
Dignity.
it is he's insane. Like, he is crazy. So I don't think he realized.
It might have just been like, I think this fits better. I'm gonna take a quick nap. See how I feel in the morning. Maybe we can go back to that journey. Maybe if there's more stones, who knows?
He's like, it's getting better.
It's
And
getting
meanwhile,
so
they
better.
cut to a panel of it and it's
Just
swollen.
festering
Yeah, it's
and-
just
yeah.
disgusting. He's like, it's feeling a lot better. I can
Yeah.
put weight on it.
He's
Actually,
just like, Joanne, what? Just remember me.
yeah. Why don't you do me one solid? Just remember me, the nameless boy.
Me,
Yeah.
the nameless boy.
Maybe his name's me.
Maybe his name is
Ooh.
first name nameless.
But why would he have no
First
name?
name nameless. Last name boy.
That would make sense if they abandoned him because they're like, oh, nameless boy, you stay. They didn't name him.
What if they
he
didn't
had,
name him?
That's what I'm saying.
Or he
just doesn't mention his name.
well, yeah, because he just like I think it's nameless boy for like reference, but like I think he wouldn't be like me,
Yeah.
Eric.
That wouldn't surprise me because he likes to talk out loud.
Yeah, imagine that 3 months when he was alone without the wolf too. I mean, he was probably even crazier.
No, he even said, "I knew you were gonna come back." He's just waiting for the wolves.
He's
a
like,
matter of
"Any
time."
day
Matter
now."
of time for you to come back.
And then the wolf starts like tugging at the thing tying him to the boy. And I'm
Thank you.
thinking like, oh, is he gonna like start dragging the boy to like the mission and like sort
Yeah.
of like take up the charge now?
Yeah.
And then the story takes its nice little turn here where you find out what it really is. So I feel as though if some sort of noise
For this portion of the review, because we're going to be entering
because up in
the spoiler tundra.
this is all pretty much the setup to the story, so like if you want to find out what happens, maybe stop, maybe finish, you read it on your own. Yeah, but
and this is still chapter 1 stuff too.
it is still chapter 1, but this is where the story now really happens.
Yeah. So if only. There was-
We're spoiler time.
Oh, no. No. Why do I love it so much? I love it.
Famous dog.
Yes.
A talking dog.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You know what I have to say to that, Megan?
Who let the dogs out?
Yes, dude.
Woo.
And speaking of who let the dogs out, the dog gets out.
The
He gets
dog
out.
starts taking on
Yes.
some arms and like falling down. Like it starts getting kind of like when it like shifts, it starts getting creepy.
Oh yeah, he has to use his like fucking head to prop himself up
Yeah, he's
as
like
he's changing.
His hands, his grubby little hands.
Yeah, you look like you're grabbing something.
What? This far apart?
Oh, maybe they've drifted.
Much like the boy and the dog.
Much like the
Yes.
boy and the dog.
Yes. Now, hear me out, friend. I do
Well-
think this is where, in that beautiful 2-page spread in the manga, the boy in the chair, is because there's no reason for him to like in death tie this dog back up to him because that's a bad move. You're gonna
Well, he
tie.
didn't think he was dying.
I see, but I think he was accepting it. But he was just so optimistic about it that it's hard to tell. But I think he knew.
And I feel like a wolf can definitely get out of a simple leash.
Yeah.
It's biting.
Yeah, but if you're dying, don't tie an animal to you.
He's
It was
dead,
already tied to him.
and he could use
No.
him as meat
Yeah.
for fuel.
Again,
and
with
food.
the eating human stuff.
It's a dog.
It just keeps happening.
It just keeps happening.
Yeah,
but I think
there
they
is
tied
that-
him to him, and then there's that panel where he breaks away,
Mm-hmm.
and that's representative of a connection, and the connection being broken so that he can go forward and like
Yeah,
in
we all
Chainsaw
get
Man.
what ties.
And in death
Okay.
comes life. And it's a repeated cycle, much like a sphere.
Oh wow!
And never ending.
Eternal.
Holy shit! But I was saying he's gonna go achieve this boy's dreams of seeing the world.
Yes, that which of Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
This is I think this is a nice little example of how you can have very similar in like concepts while being a wildly different story. Even though like this could be seen as almost like beat by beat the setup for Chainsaw Man. In some ways, I'm not saying it is, but it's not. It's just saying like these concepts, completely different stories.
In execution, completely different. But in concept, there are some.
You're like
core
you can see how
elements.
it's like okay, meets this like otherworldly being that they help out, and then eventually, they become a different thing on their own with that thing. But it's
They're both dog-like.
yes, both otherworldly dogs meet a dying, struggling boy who's
Yeah.
hopelessly optimistic.
Yeah.
And then in death, they become something greater.
Wow. A lot of parallels.
Yeah. Now, yeah, because seeing this cover, I thought it was like a boy and his dog story. But what this really is a dog is the boy.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Cody.
Dog equals boy.
Dog equal boy.
Yeah, the translation should be dog equals boy. I think moving forward, that's what we refer to this series as. But yeah, I
Dog
do think...
backwards is God.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
Megan, I don't think you know what you just did.
Oh, fuck.
You just spoiled the whole goddamn series.
No!
No, but I do think... Let me be deep, Cody. I'm sorry. Let me be
No,
deep.
I just love you being like, no, I think there is something to him being tied down. It's like, yeah, we get it.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Gosh,
sorry. I
no,
don't get it so
yes.
easily.
No, go for it.
You
'Cause
say
I
it.
did like that 2-page spread, and you can see how, like, in
Yeah.
the anime, that's gonna be the ending credits scene
Yeah.
while something goes.
It's gonna. Oh,
No,
Yeah.
it's that. Would,
I
yeah.
gave up on having it because in my head I know what it would
It's
be.
more
but-
like.
see,
Yeah.
you think
It's
you
more
have
like-
it, and then you got to do it.
Okay, I can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I can't do it. You did it, and I can't do it better.
And then it goes credits, and the next episode is
Yeah.
where they. That's all the first episode, probably.
So
That's
what's
the OP for
what's
the
the
song.
meaning you think there is in it leaving the boy? Do you think that's like a thing about like abandoning
Oh,
boyhood
he
to like
went.
become an adult?
Thank you. First of all, Cody, thank you for asking. I think, as I've stated earlier, it is a connection, and the rope signifies that. When the rope, therefore, is broken, I think it is an indicator of this wolf being severed from his companions throughout eternity. This is a being that is forced to walk the earth and outlive everyone he meets.
So you think this is the what this establishes is he will always leave these things behind on his march towards eternity.
Yes.
Okay.
March
Yeah.
towards eternity.
Speaking of March,
Oh, speaking of March, wow.
Got him.
That's Megan. You're like really on top of it today.
Oh, wait, I'm trying to figure out. Go back.
What are you trying to do a pinky of? Are you trying to? Oh, you're trying to. Are you trying to poke me? Speaking of March, though, yeah, this is where we meet March.
Marty.
Yeah.
which it was sort of like, oh, is this a series of short stories about things that capture the idea of is this like a massive time skip?
Yeah, because in my mind at this point, I think this is going to be an anthology series where everybody dies at the very end. And this is going to be a story where we get invested in a character, we get to read about them in their life, and at the very end, inevitably, they die, and the orb can take on that form. And it just collects forms.
When he becomes a boy, it goes more into like, first of all, like the marionette way it uses the body. Because it'll mimic bone structure and everything, but it's still this like being using the form as like as a puppet, so it moves very like
Yeah, imagine a baby being put in like a full-grown human body, like they wouldn't know how to walk.
Great. Speaking of Adam Sandler, a great Adam Sandler premise for a movie, right there.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say the Will Ferrell sketch on SNL when he's like when he's a baby boss. Is that not him?
Boss Baby?
You're talking about the movie Boss Baby.
No.
Classic Boss Baby.
Speaking of boss, no.
Yeah. And it goes into like the gritty stuff where like it pisses itself.
Yeah,
and
shits itself.
Doesn't know you're not supposed to do that, and it still has to. And then also it'll die of starvation, and then it like resets over the course of like hours or days to like the first form.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it's a thing where it can only take the form of something that it dies, because it took the form of the dying wolf and then of the dying boy.
I think it's only the things they have like knowledge of thus far. That's what they kind of say here. It's like it could transform, if anything, into like a moss, rock, or wolf, but it chooses to be in the human because it's the newest one to learn more about.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna get more stimuli.
Yeah,
That's what it's pursuing, is stimulation.
Yeah, and it's heading south,
which is what we're all really pursuing.
That's what life is. And then you see much more of this art where like, in my head I'm like, you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, thank you so
Just
much though.
The sheer detail in like the scenery and like individual leaves and the rocks, and you're like, oh,
scenery.
Yeah, beautiful.
I can hear this bird chirp. Swear to God.
Yeah. No, swear to God.
On God, heard a bird.
No, I really do think that too. Like what Cody, you said in the beginning, it does allow you to like hear it. This manga, like the environments are drawn so well that it allows you to hear the world, not just feel the world, but hear the sounds and the wind and the snow. And I feel cold when I read it.
Yeah.
It transports me.
And then he gets attacked by a bear.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the infamous bear.
It's the bear from Big Bear, California.
The demon bear.
The demon bear with spikes all over it. Huge ass bear, bloody ass mouth bear, spikes having
random bear.
Yeah.
Like random beautiful places,
Yeah,
goats, birds, and then just out of nowhere, a giant bear just fucks his ass up, tears him to pieces.
Yeah. At this point in the story, too, speaking of environments and world, I'm thinking this takes place in a world very similar to ours. This takes place in a world with wolves and
then
with people.
An orb was sent down to like interact with this, but it's like, oh, so there's a bunch of stuff going on here.
Yeah, there's other stuff afoot here. Yeah.
Much like our world.
I was wondering if there was a pun about feet. I was like,
other than I hate them, no.
Okay.
But yeah, this is where I start feeling like, okay, all right. So this isn't our world necessarily as it is. This is a more fantasy, mythical type of world because they got giant ass bears with spikes on it roaming the icy forest.
Yeah, and then that's where it sort of ends on like a where he gets attacked by a bear, and then it cuts to a character named March, who I thought was part killer whale. For several reasons.
So dumb.
Because I saw the demon bear, so I accepted there's hybrids maybe. I didn't realize she had face paint on. She has black hair. Her eyes are animated differently. I thought it was like some sort of whale tribe. They made a pact with a whale god. Because everyone else looks different. They have like normal facial structure, but she has different teeth, different eyes.
Right, she's the daughter of the My Hero character, Killer Orca.
Killer
Orca.
Oh, it's Killer Orca. That's interesting.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is,
Yeah.
but it's like killer whale, but then they're called orcas also.
Yeah.
But Killer Orca.
Yeah, well, it's so funny to name an animal after its instinct. Like, no shit, they kill things and they're a whale.
Yeah,
Like, why are we calling them killer whale?
Megan, that's a great point.
Maybe a Californian named it Killer Whale. Killer whale, brah. I dare say that's what happened.
Killer?
Don't say more like. Don't say more like. More. Actually, you know what, Megan? More like what?
I want to know.
I wasn't. I really wasn't gonna go there.
Okay.
I was gonna say something else.
But Megan, you're actually really on
Killer,
the nose here.
more like kill her.
Oh,
Because-
actually, yeah.
Because-
Actually, yeah.
This is one of those tribes That's like
we know him, we love him.
And then she's like, I can't wait to grow up and have a whole life ahead of me. And you're like, oh, so that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, this character's whole identity is that they want to grow up. And the one thing that they're not going to be able to do is grow up. And you can see how that could create a little bit of tension.
Yeah. And it's brought to everyone's attention that they're having the seance or whatever, and someone has to be sacrificed.
Yeah, because there's like a little myth in the beginning of this chapter that describes a group of people in a forest that were, I guess, not welcomed by this forest spirit, and so this forest spirit ate them or killed them, and so to appease the spirit, they sacrifice a member of the village, a maiden, I think is what they say, and because of that, they have to keep doing it every year to keep the spirit at bay.
Yeah, it's never the little boys. I get it. You know?
Why not? Can I talk to the spirits for a second? What's wrong with little boys?
Because they're pervs.
They're not pure.
They're not. I get no. Okay, I meant the spirits. But yeah, I guess that could be.
Yeah, because the boys are perverts.
Yeah, boys are perverts. I mean, that's true. But yeah, this is because I know we got a lot of big spirits that listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
number one.
Cut the little girl stuff out. Okay, eat a few little boys from time to time.
Yeah, seriously. Like maybe next year you do boys,
year
following you do girls. It doesn't always have to be a little.
Maybe throw
girl.
an adult in there too.
Throw in a couple because they're more nutrients than a child for sure.
Don't eat an old person though.
Which makes it the most sense for a sacrifice would be an old person because like you got your life.
Yeah, but do they really? They don't really look good.
To a spirit? Who knows? He probably ripens.
Spoiler alert.
Actually, let's go to our resident cannibal. Do you think old people taste better than adults? Or children? Megan doesn't like that. Megan doesn't like it at all.
So yeah, I mean, you meet her family and everything, and they're like, man, I really am not in favor of this whole thing, but...
Yeah.
That's, it's a living.
Yeah, because a person from another village comes to kind of... supervise this what do you call it, tradition, I guess?
Tradition. There's like a whole process of different things that they have to have this little girl do, and
she gets like tributes given to her, so it is like they're like, look, we'll treat you nice for a bit.
Yeah,
you get some nice
like royalty.
Fruit. Yeah,
like pretty
for
much
a couple days.
Fruit, and then she has to bathe and like all this different shit before she actually goes in. And she has this older sister type character who's just another girl in the village that like likes to play with her and watches over her, and she's pretty cool. But she obviously, everyone is kind of against this little girl dying besides the village.
I mean, the village is pretty psyched about it because they're not the ones getting eaten. But this older sister character, we see her earlier on too, wanting to be this like warrior type person, and she ends up having this scene where she's trying to shoot a bow and arrow, and you think that she's going to be really great at shooting bows and arrows, but she's actually terrible at it. But
and then you think the men are going to go, women, they don't know how to point the thing.
But they're actually very helpful.
They're just like, no, you gotta.
They're actually very helpful.
You gotta line up the thing.
Yeah, I was convinced that they were going to make fun of her or laugh at her and say, like, this is why women can't shoot bows. But they want her to succeed. They're here for her, But the village is not there for March. They don't know.
Yeah, and March is like, hey, could I, like, run away? And then the new guardian with her, like, what kind of that? I like the design of the like bodyguards in the background. Like they just have hair covering their faces.
Yeah, that's not practical for a bodyguard. They can't see shit.
Yeah, you can't see. Your one job is to watch out. And you can't make it. They have eyes. They have eyes painted on their, robes or whatever.
Yeah, cousin it. Who?
Yeah, because you can't see unless you're seeing through that eye painted on the back of your hood.
You're
gonna get the hair out of your eyes.
You're gonna get in some hairy situations if you have hair in your eyes.
Yeah, little hair of the dog, maybe.
That's good.
You didn't like it.
That's good. I did. Calling back. So yeah, pretty much she, like you said, she gets told that if she tries to run away,
it's gonna be your sister.
It's gonna be
someone else,
Yeah.
I guess just to spite you, if you run away, we'll go after someone related to you.
Yeah, so you can't live a happy life if you run away, and we can't catch you.
Yeah, which also, why did anybody ever think this was a good idea to sacrifice people to appease gods? This is not good.
Yeah, a lot of people
Josh,
did it.
How do you propose to appease the gods?
Great question, Cody. Thank you so much for asking.
Yeah, Josh, what do you
fruit
think?
basket, maybe?
Well, they
why do we
fed
have
her
to
fruit.
feed them humans? Why can't we feed them like animals? Or why can't we feed them?
I mean, sacrifices happen throughout all of history. I don't know what this bit is.
Oh, it's not a bit. I'm saying it's wrong.
It's like over though.
Oh, that's a nice.
Oh, underground maybe people do that stuff.
Yeah, the dark web.
The dark web.
Yeah, let's not worry about temples that were found on islands that got
Yikes.
loaded with
Big
cement.
Yikes, yeah.
When they found it, and then we all just moved on.
Yeah.
Where
Dark
they
stuff.
shipped children to.
Yeah, Marchie.
Yeah, I like this part of the story because this is where, like you said, it starts to pick up. This is where it becomes something completely different. This is the first chapter was a great introductory chapter, but this is where we start to see things moving forward. This chapter takes place entirely from March's perspective and from this village's perspective. We don't even get to see the orb or the boy for most of the first half of
Introduction of the characters and the world, and then again with the eyes, like this moment too, and she just sees her moment to run away, and she sees like the beautiful scenery again with all the detail of the forest and everything, and she just she gets the fuck out of there, and the hope in her eyes, like it's so well. I love this. I love this panel right
and
here.
I really like that her character, where she was that happy child, and then she was told like you have to be strong for this, so she tries to like be strong, but it cracks every now and then where she's like, I don't want to die, and it's like good.
Yeah.
Normally, I didn't want it to be like she's like except she's just like, this is
Yeah.
terrible.
And the dad's like, act like an adult, and she's you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, you're not gonna be one though.
Yeah, he's like, grow the fuck up. Oh, you want to be a grown-up so bad?
And she goes
Act
on,
like one.
She goes on a nice little
run. She's so
escape
cute
because they get attacked. Her caravan guards get attacked by an arrow. That is a little off target.
Yeah, so she ends up meeting the boy. This is where we see the boy, and we haven't
It's
seen
just
the boy
a rotting
in a while.
corpse. I don't know if this is like directly after the bear, because I took it as like, oh, so it died somewhere and then it like fell into a river, and this is where it is.
Well,
like,
no, they say in the manga too that it died multiple times.
Yeah.
It's like over
and
over
every
over
time
over.
it got a little faster
Yeah.
at regenerating. So this must have been immediately after the bear, because it only takes him minutes to become what it is again.
Yeah, so that because it was completely dead, but once she bumps into it, then it like immediately regenerates. I don't know if it would just like, all right, I'm in stasis mode now until like more stimulation, or if it like, because if it can regenerate that fast, it would have had to have died like a second ago.
Yeah. Anyway, that's where she finds him, and we get this cute little montage of him
and
not knowing
some
how to eat.
Genuinely creepy art showing how it regenerates, where it forms the body back. So like you see organs and bones and rotting flesh and eyeballs, and it's very well done.
Yeah, and we have this moment where a very important moment that ends up coming full circle at the very end of this volume, where when March sees this creature kind of come back to life, two of the guards see it as well and run out of just fear and terror. And so she's there. She's like, I'm dying anyway. I might as well see what this little guy's up to, And so she starts feeding him fruit, and they have this whole cute back and forth about him just being not knowing how to eat, so he pounces on it like a wolf, and she keeps throwing him pears
like,
or whatever the fuck
eat it,
they are.
Eat it with your hands, and it like slaps it out of her hand so it can eat it off the floor.
And it keeps taking her food. She's like, what the fuck? Like, stop taking my food. She's like, you're rude. And every time she pulls one, he breaks it off, and then she cries a little bit.
Yeah, and she tells him something very important, which is that whenever you're offered food by anyone, really, the proper response is thank you. You should always thank someone when they give you food. And that's just a good lesson.
That's great, Josh.
I'm setting something up. Let me set something up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Yeah, and that's when
she does get a smile out of him.
she does get a little smile out of him.
Yeah. And that's a heartthrob smile if I've ever seen one.
Oh, yeah, he is a heartthrob.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an orb.
Yeah, hot orb.
Hot orbs.
Have you ever heard the song Great Balls of Fire?
Yeah.
That's so dumb.
The balls are on fire because they're hot. Yeah, and so to just kind of like, because I don't want to ruin this for anybody who's like trying to or planning on reading this series, so I just kind of want to skim through
that's
the rest
the
of
dynamic. Is she's like, so what's your deal? Are you some sort of guy? And he's like, and it just keeps eating fruit, and they walk along, and then they're like, you find out that the person that attacked that caravan was the older lady who was like, she had this whole plan to fake her death, and you're like, that's really good.
Yeah.
And then she like runs back to them, doesn't she? She's like, all right, I have to go back.
Yeah.
No. The guards find her.
Take her. Yeah,
the guards
find her.
She doesn't put up much of a fight. She's like, all right, I guess I'm going back then. And she goes back, gets tied up, and as dark as this is, March is so cute, and her little stubs and her little nubs of arms and legs. She's so stubby.
But they have
chubby.
little child like restraints, and they feed her a cube.
Yeah. She doesn't have toes or like fingers. She's just got little like doll nubs.
Yeah, she looks like a little doll.
Yeah.
She's so adorable. And eventually they fall asleep, and then she gets.
Well, yeah, and that's when they plan on sacrificing her because that little cube is supposed to kind of knock her out. Yada yada yada. Don't want to ruin it for you if you're planning on reading it because it's an amazing series and an amazing first volume. But what happens is that guess who shows up? Papa Bear shows up.
Papa Bear, who ate my porridge?
Who ate my porridge?
Turns out the sacrifices were warranted. I thought it was a general like, we're gonna burn them, and then that will get rain. You know how rain works.
Yeah, it comes eventually.
Yeah.
It's not. It's you can't plan that type of information.
No. You give the gods a child. Maybe we get more rain. We get some more fruit. That's just how the world works. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, there's big dudes up there, and they run this shit.
Yeah,
we don't stuff.
We don't get rain after a while. I guess they weren't happy with that. We got to sacrifice more children.
We have to sacrifice children for the sun to come up the next day.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't see any problems there.
No,
that's
it makes sense.
just the way things
makes
are.
Complete sense to me.
I shouldn't have to explain this to you. You should have learned this in school. Yeah. I'm a doctor, a sun doctor.
I do think, though, that you're right. This is a weird point in the story where you're like, huh. I guess
they're fucked now that they didn't get the sacrifice.
I guess March kind of does need to die.
Yeah. That is like, I guess more people will die if one person doesn't. So that is a net positive, actually.
Yeah.
But I will say, when the bear spirit does find March, it doesn't seem like he's very interested in eating the sacrifice.
And a
necessarily.
tiny little stumpy girl.
Yeah, I think they were supposed to be gone by then. I think they got delayed because she ran away. So I think they were supposed to okay, sir, all right, let's bail. And then they're like, did it? It ate her. So they're like, oh no.
Yeah, they're like, fuck. And by the way, too, I don't know how that little girl's supposed to fill that big ass bear up. That's an appetizer.
If it's a demon, I think it's more of soul feeding. So I think a child's soul is probably more pure and filling than a worn down adult.
Yeah, I was thinking, along the way, he probably ate so many little appetizers, deer here, little bear there.
Yeah.
He's probably a little, okay, I'm ready for the full meal.
Ready for dessert.
Ready for dessert, which is a child's soul.
Yeah. As we all know.
As we all know, tasty.
Again, makes sense.
Yeah. And what was cool, I didn't expect this series to do cool fight scenes either. But I really like it. It shows the brutal fights, and then because this thing can regenerate, you get to see it get fucked up a bunch of times during this fight.
Yeah.
And it as it's getting knocked around, it starts recovering faster and faster.
And it can choose when it wants to shape shift back into a wolf. So it goes from being the boy to a wolf, which is really cool because if this orb does, be if it's able to copy more and more people over time, then I wonder if it's just going to, at free will, just be able to, for whatever situation it's
start
in.
Going, shapeshifter modes, attack mode, stealth mode. Yes. These are stuff I actually really like. This kind of character that can have I need to enter this. Maybe it'll turn into a bird and scout out stuff.
Real Beast Boy vibes.
Little Beast Boy. He is kind of a Beast Boy.
He is kind of a Beast Boy.
And he doesn't have a name yet, so.
He actually does get a name when he's in the forest.
Yeah. It's Fushi.
Oh, she names it, right?
A Fushigi? Ball? Fushigi?
Yeah. And also...
Is that what that...
Yes! the ball that was sold on the fucking internet? You remember that's like a silver ball that you can do tricks with, and it makes it look like it's floating.
Oh, the sphere. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
I'm surprised you didn't know one of those. It's like right up your alley.
I'm surprised I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes.
So
I was hoping it
the
was
fight
going
really
to
cool.
combine the forms, and I could get a manga werewolf, which I'm starved for werewolf material.
Manga. Where we should look into that. I'm sure there's stories.
If anyone
There
knows
has to
a
be.
manga that involves werewolves, I really want something like the way these fights are done with that. Because I find the werewolf that just turns into a wolf kind of disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to see a werewolf, but I'm kind of glad it didn't go there either. I'm kind of glad it stuck to each form and didn't combine forms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that would have been, I don't know, the fact that it didn't heal the person I liked, the fact that it had to be one form at a time.
And to be clear,
there's limitations.
when it started to become the boy, it was a wolf but with human arms. So we know it can combine things.
But that's mid-transformation.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to ever be a wolf head with a human body.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know that.
We don't know that, but I hope not. For the love of God, that's terrifying.
That's a weird. Do you not like werewolves?
I mean, werewolves are one thing, but boy wolves are another thing.
I don't know what tangent you're on, but
It's not a tangent. Boy
an
wolves
opinion.
are different than werewolves.
okay.
They just definitively are.
Yeah, you're not about. He's talking about. You're not talking about a teen wolf type.
Exactly.
You don't like the teen wolf type?
Love teen wolves.
Okay, it's different.
but not boy wolves.
I love teen wolf.
Okay, not like that. Relax. Relax.
That's where I figured it was
I love
going.
the movie Teen Wolf. How about
Got
that?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get it. It wins the fight because it can't die.
Right.
I mean, you get it. Nice inner, it just keeps tearing at it and just tearing at it.
Yeah.
Very brutal. I really liked the way that fight went, and then that caravan is just fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't have to do the sacrifice anymore, though.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
now
good.
that is good. But now the girl who came to the village to perform the sacrifice is okay, we got bigger fish to fry now.
Yeah,
We're
so
gonna
it's
just pretend like this whole sacrifice thing happened because apparently there's demon bears in these woods that got to be honest, kind of thought they were just legends, but they're real. They're real. I'm assuming maybe she thought that.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
That's
Assuming.
a lot of just
Let me do. I hope that's not it because I really like the story that it was. So you sound.
Whoa! Well, don't ask me to
God
sound
damn.
like you, dude, because I'll sound like you, dude.
Are you gonna base
sound
it
like
off
you,
of
dude.
my impression that I gave you?
Yeah, here's my impression of Cody. Yeah, I like werewolves.
Yeah. A little boy. I'm definitely not a pedophile. That's my joke to have.
It's not. I'm saying I don't like little boy wolves.
See, yeah. The joke being implying you do.
Because it is.
That's not the joke.
Well, it's my joke.
That you eat people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also that's not a joke. It's real.
Anyway.
I thought it was really weird how she's like, yeah, you're coming with us. And the demon thing, too, that just killed. And it's like, you're in no position to make demands here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
who are you?
Yeah, who is this bitch?
You just saw that this child, who is against you, by the way, has a guardian that can kill this thing that you're terrified of.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to take from that being like, and you're coming with me.
Yeah. You don't know what this thing is capable of. And you're automatically assuming that you can control this thing?
The things that you do know it's capable of should have you absolutely terrified. But she's like, and get in the ship.
Yeah. Get in the ship. We're going back to headquarters.
Yeah, she goes, either you die here together or you come with us to our country alive.
I mean,
I
that's a
guess
no-brainer,
she's
yeah.
I guess she's forcing them to go to the country. She wants
Yeah.
them to go because she wants this. She thinks that the sphere, the wolf, is godly.
Well, yeah, she just wants answers. She wants to just figure this
Yeah.
shit out.
Yeah, which is why it's weird that she's making demands at that stage.
Yeah. And thanks to a little detail that I set up earlier, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The wolf at the very end says, "Thank you." which is, obviously alludes to the wolf being able to learn eventually how to speak English.
Which does imply
or whatever language they're
that
speaking.
it will have a vaguely Scooby-Doo-like way of talking.
Yes.
Because the font is a little different.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Raggy.
That might legitimately be the way it sounds.
Yeah. Yep.
And it was a nice thing of like that is creepy though.
Yeah, it is creepy,
Yeah,
but
look at
Megan
his
did
face.
hit it on the snout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
And that's the entirety of Volume 1. What I do think is interesting, too, is where this series ends up going. This series, apparently, the first arc of the series ended in 2019, and in 2020, it started its second arc. And the story is apparently going to be comprised of 3 arcs that take place in the past, the second arc taking place in the present, and then the third possibly in the future, transcending an eternity.
Yeah.
To your eternity.
And beyond.
It's a
And
long
beyond.
one.
The series?
Yeah. 13 volumes, 14 volumes is a lot to
Yeah.
go through.
Yeah.
And
Although that is pretty like it's not like a long ongoing one. So it's like it's got like a story.
yeah.
Like beginning, middle, and end then.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
ones where it's like, so here's the premise and we'll sort of just see what happens.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
Past, present, future.
Well, what it does become, too,
eternal
full circle,
full circles,
orbs.
circle orbs,
circle of life.
circle of orbing life, orbing, sphere.
Orbing.
Open up an orb like an egg, yolk, the yolk of life.
Fushigi.
Shigi.
Fushigi. I think it's like I think it's a beautiful story, even in Volume 1. I'm curious to see where it goes forward because March and this girl seem like characters that are at least gonna last a little while.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But I know that inevitably this series will become this, especially if it takes place past, present, and future. This series will inevitably become a series where this creature is forced to kind of watch everyone around him die because he's immortal and he's going to have to deal with that. I do think that this series is going to deal with that a little bit better than a lot of other series have done before. And I'm more so thinking of series that, the old vampire trope. And you see those vampires who are like, you don't know what it's like to watch everyone around me die. I just think this is going to do it a little more eloquently and a little more nuanced.
They always try to be like, no, being a vampire wouldn't be cool. And it's like, no, it would.
It'd be very cool.
It's like, you don't want to live forever. Everyone wants to live forever.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Until you don't.
Until you don't.
Okay, here's the no. It's like the only people who say that they wouldn't want to live forever don't have that option.
yeah, I do. But
Like if you were given that, I don't think anyone, if they were given the option to live forever, would say no.
But he gets such a good opportunity, though, the orb,
Mm-hmm.
because he gets to learn along the way. It's not like you're already mid-20s, 30s going to become a vampire. You already know what you want to know. I mean, you learn along the way, of course, but he's learning everything for the first time like a child.
Yeah.
So time for him is different because he gets to do all these different things.
And I'm wondering, because it like when it dies, it like resets. So like if it dies of old age, like is it just gonna like reset to like if it stays in that boy's form for like 80 years, will it be like, I guess it's time for me to go?
Well,
fruit, and then it just respawns essentially.
Well, that's an interesting an interesting point because I think, the reason it has to eat is because the body requires nutrients, not necessarily because this creature requires nutrients, right?
Yeah.
So if the body can no longer sustain life, which is interesting again because this, like I said, this character, this boy becomes this orb's base kind of form throughout the entire, or its default form throughout the entirety, I think, of at least the first and I think second arc, So I wonder what their workaround that is going to be, because how does it not age? Does it just maintain the age of the form as it was when it absorbed it?
Yeah, like
could
it be the boy for 20 years and he becomes like an adult and then it turns into a wolf and then now it's a boy again? Like, does it reset every time there's a shift? But like, if it doesn't see a need to change form, would it just like age and then like? Because if the body can die of starvation, that means like bodily functions still happen, which means it would age.
It would age,
but it would still reset to the form that it like first registered that thing as.
That's super interesting
Because this is it's like it copies the body, but it's not the body. It's choosing to copy that form, and it copies it so well that it's got the blood veins and organs and everything, but that's not what it is.
Unless it gets to a point where it can, choose what what it copies. It gets better at, controlling its I guess ability to transform, or it understands itself more and what it is more, and so it doesn't age. I don't know, but that's a great point. I don't know. I did not think of that.
I don't think it resets. Like, I don't think if he went to, like, from a wolf and then he would go back to the same age he was when he got into the body. I think it's...
Yeah, I kind of don't think it resets
think that, like,
either.
if it only had those two forms, which I kind of figure, like, it has to get new forms, but if it stuck to those two, it would shift, when it shifts into the boy, now it's that boy a year older. When it shifts into the wolf, it's that wolf a year older. And then, like, oh, now it's that boy, but 10... Like, it can't go back into an age.
I don't know. Maybe it's just, like I said, in the like it says, it just goes back to the knowledge that it has of that body. So maybe it knows up to that point, and then it wouldn't reset, like, past that point because it doesn't know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well,
so,
I'm
like,
also sure that these are answers that will be explained. They have to be explained. You can't just not explain that. These are things that will be explained as the story continues.
This seems like the kind of story that would go into the implications of immortality.
100%, and him dealing with everything. And I do know a little bit more about the story in preparation for this that I won't spoil, but the places that it does go, I'm very interested to read them for myself. There are a lot of characters that we haven't seen yet, too, that are supposed to be a very big part of the series, and we learned that from the anime trailer.
And I know the anime comes out in October, and it's like I need to see this in motion. I need to hear the music and the noises and everything. But the double-edged sword of manga to anime adaptations, like I can find out the story right now. I'm not gonna wait till October to find out what happens here.
Oh yeah, no, I want to continue reading as well, and I think Brains Base is the studio that's going to be animating the anime when they did Durara and they did Natsume's Book of Friends, which are heavy hitters. So, and I think just from the trailer alone, the animation looks fucking beautiful, stunning. If you will.
I'm very excited. They have to. Like, I mean, all the scenery and all the nature, like, it wouldn't just be half-assed because...
Yeah, you need those leaves wrestling.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be real ambient.
Yeah.
Is that a word? Did I pluralize that word correctly?
You pronounced it odd.
Ambient.
Ambient.
Yeah, I pronounced it like I was from Brooklyn. It's got a little ambient.
I need that ambiance in my media.
Yeah. No, yeah, but they really got to capture the scenery and the feeling, and it's got to be, it's got to feel like, I don't know, airy. The word airy comes to mind. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of want to float through this anime. That's how it makes me feel.
Like an orb.
So did you guys, obviously you guys enjoyed this, right? This is something that you recommend and will continue to read, possibly?
Yeah, I read a little bit into volume 2, and then I stopped. But I wouldn't mind reading it just because I don't know how faithful the anime adaptation will be. And sometimes I don't necessarily, like, if I want to watch the anime, I don't like reading more into the manga because of that, because it might change a couple different things, which is, like, fine. But I might keep reading. It's up for debate. If I have so much shit on my
I know. Well, that's what I think is cool about, kind of our dynamic, I guess, is that whereas Cody's someone who will probably more than likely end up reading it, I might lean more towards your side, where I may or may not wait for the anime to come out, because I this is, again, something that will just be, it's such a beautiful looking anime. I kind of want to see it, but also there is that side of me wanting to just know what happens. So I don't know where I fall. It's definitely something I'm for sure going to either read or watch. This is not a series that I'm going to abandon in the village for years. This is a series that I'm definitely going to continue one way or the other.
You won't let it stay out in the cold for too long.
Oh, no. No X's on these arrows.
That was nice.
You won't leave this manga in the doghouse, that's for sure.
Right, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yippee-oh, yippee-yay. And so, Cody, you're leaning more towards, like, reading it.
I'm probably going to read it. When the anime comes out, I'll check it. I'll see some episodes, but I it's not like this isn't visually pleasing on its own.
Sure,
either.
You're absolutely right, yeah.
So, like, I think this there's some manga where you're in there for the story, the artwork is there, but this is one where the artwork is as much a part of it as the writing and characters.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I want to see what because sometimes the adaptions will, like, gloss over the art details and stuff. So
Yeah.
as much as I want to see it in color and motion, I also want to see what this artist had in mind for these scenes and stuff.
Yeah. Yep. Any other final thoughts? Anything, Megan?
If you don't like this manga, you're barking up the wrong tree.
You're out of your goddamn mind if you don't like this shit. Yeah. You've been stranded in a village too long without nobody to talk to, because this manga is beautiful, and I can't wait to read more. If you've already read this series, let us know what you thought about it, and if you do decide to read it based on our review, let us know what you thought too.
Oh yeah, and just I thought the cover of the boy and the wolf, because I was like, oh okay, so that's the premise of the story. And then when the boy dies, I was like, oh, they lied to me.
Yeah,
they tricked me.
Yeah.
And then you realize that it's that those are its two forms it like shifts into.
Yeah.
So it manages to trick you by not tricking you
and bring you back.
and bring you right back full circle.
Yeah, good on ya, Yoshitoki. Yoshitoki killed it, man. I mean, this is such a beautiful series. A Silent Voice. I knew going into it that this was going to be something that I probably loved. But yeah, that's our review for To Your Eternity. Like we said, if you've already checked it out, let us know what you thought. And if you decided to check it out, let us know what you think too. I can't wait to read more. And I hope that we sold you on it, because it's beautiful.
I have not really been displeased with the recommendations we've gotten. I'm actually really happy that someone told me to read this.
Yeah, this is amazing too. Thank you again. Ken Reeb was our subscriber who commented, and Patreon member who commented and suggested this. You fucking killed it, dude. If you guys also have any manga recommendations, and we've got a few from our Discord and stuff too that we're planning on doing, so always shoot us manga recs, always, because we're always looking for shit to read.
Yeah, I'm always finding out that the mangas, they can tell so many different stories in so many ways.
Oh yeah,
it's so easy to be like, I'm just gonna read that, and because there's so many and they're all so like long. It's like, I'll just read this for like a year, and you're like, oh, there's a thing about an orb warning about life.
Yeah,
check that out.
Yeah. Our list gets longer and longer and longer. But yeah, shout out again, Ken Reeb. And speaking of subscribers and commenters and Patreon members, it's time to get to the new hot segment, the Wonder Circle.
And I want to stress this: the Wonder Circle is a working title.
It's
Why?
not a working title.
That's what you said it was.
But then you guys said you liked it.
Did
I like it.
I have a record of you saying you liked it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wonders
I was
Club.
helping you out by reminding you that you were working.
Oh,
did we switch viewpoints?
We switched opinions on it. I mean, now that you guys like it, I like it.
It's nice.
You
if
don't
anyone
like
can
it?
think of a
You never liked it?
He didn't like it because he said we'll figure out a new name down the road.
Right. I was a little insecure. It was like a little placeholder, and then you guys validated me, and I was like, I love it.
Okay. Well, speaking of orbs and circles,
Judgment Nights. You know that sound. That sound means it's time for the Wonder Circle. Not working title. The Wonder Circle, of course, is where we go through some of our favorite comments on previous videos, and we read them aloud. We've all picked our comments ahead of time. So who wants to go first? Cody, Megan, or I can go first too.
Cody,
I'll go first. This is by what you look at this. Yikes! Back out.
Yikes!
Yikes! Back out! Yikes!
Yikes! Back in to
Back
me.
in.
Right?
Oh.
I love living through the reviews and experiencing the emotions as if I'm actually reading the manga. You guys do such a good job of describing the scenes in order and make it really easy to follow along with the review. I love the podcast. I'm glad to actually know you guys. Keep up the great work. And I think we know that person?
We know this person very
I
well.
could have sworn.
Do we?
I could have sworn too that we know this angel sent from heaven. Yikes! Back out, of course, one of the members of the Baka Boys. Who we've done a collab with in the past. Cameron is a fucking great just content creator, friend, person, human being, and he started his own YouTube channel too. And I think he only has like 1 or 2 videos up right now. It's more of a gaming, streaming channel. But I recommend checking it out because he's a good person and he makes good content.
He introduced us to Vinland Saga.
And he put us on.
What's funny about that is we have an episode about that available to listen.
With Cameron himself.
With Cameron.
The Cam Man.
The Cam Man.
The Cam
The Cam Man can.
Yeah, so check out his stuff, if you like watching gaming.
Yeah, if you like watching gaming, check him out. And thank you, Cameron. We fucking love you over here at Volume 1. And I'm sure everyone else does too. Oh yeah, Megan can go next. So
Speaking of other content creators
Yeah.
who are on our watching us doing,
Yes.
you know,
yes.
Oh, sorry, I had it up. I have it right now. Okay,
Oh.
you guys. I was really. It's a funny story, really. Honestly, as I
it's so
pull up
funny.
this really good comment.
And
So, okay. So it was like a fangirl moment, honestly, a little bit. So I, before we recorded our Hell's Paradise episode, I really hadn't heard a lot about Hell's Paradise at all. I just knew, Fujimoto's assistant, high expectations. So I went on YouTube, classic search, Hell's Paradise, or I usually do that with the manga that I review just to get more of an idea, more in-depth conversation, dialogue, stuff like that. So I look at it and I see this Hell's Paradise video and it has a lot of views, and I look at the channel, a lot of subscribers. I was like, credible source. So I watched the video, and it's like a monologue type video essay video about Hell's Paradise and plot points and characters and stuff like that. And it was a really good episode, video.
Yeah.
So then I go back here and I look at our comments the other day, and I see Whimsy Dearest said, "So happy I stumbled across your podcast. You guys are a whole lot of fun, and this was so well produced, and I hope to see your channel grow." And I was like, oh, that's a cute profile picture, and that's a cute name. And I was like, why does that
sound a little familiar? Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. And then I sometimes if it's a name that I have recognized or maybe know, I look it up on YouTube to see what their account is like. And guess what, guys?
Guess what?
Whimsy Dearest.
Mm-hmm.
The Whimsy Dearest commented on our episode and gave us these awesome compliments.
Yeah.
And she has a really cool channel.
Yeah.
And it's such a small world because I was watching her episode. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little flustered. I was watching her video as a person who is interested, obviously, in that content, and I liked it. And to have someone comment on something that it's such a weird feeling because that's I'm a creator too.
Well, yeah, it's crazy because
And
after Megan found the channel and told us about it, and obviously after the comment, I looked into her channel too, and they're great videos, short, concise video essays on mostly manga. And I watched the Blue Period one, which I thought was great, and Whimsy Dearest. This is an open invitation. We'll probably reach out to you in private too.
Because back out, we've done a collab with them, and so what's funny about doing collabs with other YouTube channels is that's a thing we can keep doing.
Yeah. I would love to review something like Blue Period. I don't know if anybody listening or watching has read that, but just the cover alone and it being about art sounds really intriguing to me, and the fact that she's already done a video on it, I wonder if that'd be something she'd be interested in collaborating on. But either way,
and at the
really
very
cool.
least, someone would really like to collaborate with another woman at all. So
yeah, and especially someone with great content like Whimsy Dearest.
Yes.
So I think that's very sweet that you already liked her videos, and then she liked.
I know, dude.
Yeah, that's so cool. So hopefully, maybe, potentially in the future, you can expect a collab with us and Whimsy Dearest. Hopefully, putting that out there. And if not, check out her channel too. It's a lot of cool, like I said, short video essay.
Yeah, she does stuff like
videos.
what is this series? Why you should read this? So I mean, it's definitely the stuff you would want to.
Super informative, super clean. Very, very cool videos on her channel. So go check her out.
And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And my comment comes from the Kill Pop. And the Kill Pop, this is a very general kind of question, but a good question nonetheless. Hey, where do you buy your mangas at? I've been trying to get into manga more, but I don't know where to start. Now, I'll let you guys answer, but for me, I started buying manga off of Amazon because I like to have the physical copies of the manga. And I think Amazon's great because no matter where you live, you can just have them shipped to your house. You don't have to have a Barnes & Noble or a comic book store or anything close to you to buy all these series, because as much as I love Barnes & Noble and I want to keep Barnes & Noble in business, Barnes & Noble is my safe place. I love that place. Every time I walk in there, I just feel like I'm at home. I want to keep them in business, but sometimes they don't have the volume that you're looking for.
Definitely not. And, everyone's looking for something that you're looking for, when Chainsaw Man usually comes out, they only have like 2 or 3 copies of it, and people
they have to go get in the bag. They have to make a whole scene about it.
And sometimes it's not in stock, so you definitely have to check, and then sometimes you have to drive an hour like Josh did.
I drove an hour to get Volume 1 of Hell's Paradise.
And then the next day they restocked it, and it was like 5 of them, and at the closest one near your house. So it's just kind of a disappointment sometimes. And Amazon's very reliable, even though
as much as I'm
Bezos.
in favor of supporting family-owned businesses. Every time I go to a comic book shop, they never have anything I want, and it's like,
which is weird.
But a nice way of avoiding going to Amazon is there's a website which we were referred to by one of the Baka boys.
Which website?
Spencer, the
Viz Media.
Oh, Viz Media, the Shonen Jump app. The Shonen Jump app is, I think, $1.99 a month, which is insane. And they have the entire catalog of the Shonen Jump series, and there's a lot of them. And it's also like if you're more of a tablet or phone manga reader, I highly recommend that. Also, if you want to read the chapters as they come out, like that's what I used for Chainsaw Man, because the physical copies obviously won't be out for months and months and months. So they have the chapters updated, I think, simultaneously, like as they come out in Japan. It's like a day or two, and then you get that chapter officially translated, which is also nice because a lot of times with these other websites, you can get bad translations.
Yeah. Although sometimes I prefer the bad translation.
Sometimes.
Because I'll get to the official one, and I'm like, I think the original, like the fan one was like either funnier or the wording was better.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of where we were at with our Pumpkin Night review. We were all wondering if we got an official translation or if this was a fan-made one, because they were saying some wild shit.
Wild shit. And also at my anime list, I forgot to mention too, they do have a way to buy manga on that as well. I've never bought manga for my anime list, so I don't know, but they tell you all the prices here.
Oh, very cool.
There's a lot of ones you could go through. So,
very cool.
Yeah.
And more specifically, usually I will get mine by reading the one Josh is getting. So if you know Josh,
then you're good. You're
good source of manga. You can see there's some shelves back here. So what I like to do is just read the ones he buys, and then
yeah, you're lucky I'm bougie.
Little life hack. Little life hack for you manga fans out there. You want some cheap access, just talk to Josh.
Or find a friend that has anime. Yeah. I mean manga. And you're lucky I'm bougie and I have to read the physical copies. Nothing smells better than a fresh manga.
It is a nice feel, and it's nice to just open something up and just like, I did like that scene. That is nice art. Oh, I didn't notice that detail. And when I read a digital one, it's like I'm never going back.
Oh yeah,
I'm never going back.
Physical versus digital, like it's up there for
me.
Like
if you're on your phone, this scene of him in the forest, you're probably gonna like, oh okay. But like when you have the physical one, you can like zoom in and be like, wow, she drew the twigs behind the twigs.
Twigs.
That's crazy. No one would bother doing this much detail.
No.
But this person went all out with individual stones and everything. This is one to appreciate the artwork on.
Yeah. So in summary, you can get it from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your local comic book shop, the Shonen Jump app, or me.
Yes.
In summary. But that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you guys, as always, for watching and listening. We appreciate all of you. Like we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, make sure to click the links and comment below to help support our show and to help us decide what we review next. And if you want to see us review more of the series that we reviewed today, which I would love to do, then you can let us know if this series merits a volume done, aka a full series review, which we're currently doing for Fire Punch, which will come out later this week. I'll talk about that at the very, very end. Thank you to all of our Patreon members. We couldn't do this show without you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you want to become a Patreon member and get early access to episodes, be automatically entered into manga giveaways, or to just support the show, you can head to patreon.com/volume1pod. Real quick too, with the Fire Punch volume dones, we have our part 3 that is going to be coming out later this week. This episode is premiering on Wednesday. And instead of coming out on Thursday, I kind of fucked up a little bit and put the episodes out back to back last week. So this week, the volume done part 3, the final part of the Fire Punch volume done, will be coming out on Saturday. So early access on Mondays for Patreon members, regular episodes out on Wednesdays, and volume dones out on Saturdays. So thank you guys again for watching those as well. You guys are something.
Elliot.
You guys are
Elliot
something.
I'm home.
Oh, another alien who was cast to Earth and forced to learn from humans. E.T.
Yep.
I see what you were going
Yeah,
for there.
thank you. That's exactly what I was going for. So what's our out?
Oh yeah, there's nothing else left to do except for get out of here on our outro that's always the same and never changes, which today I think should be in a Scooby-Doo voice.
Yes.
Thank you, which is the Wolf's famous, not last words, but last words of Volume 1. So without further ado, thank you guys so much again for watching and listening. And until next time,
Raggy.
Raggy.
I feel like
It's just our